What's up guys, my name is Anna and welcome to Need for Speed 4. I'll be playing the European version of the game, Need for Speed Road Challenge. The title is different, however it's basically the same game but under a different name. So that being said, let's get into it. Let's go. Need for Speed High Stakes came out in March 24th, 1999 for PlayStation and was developed by EA Canada, and then in April it released in Europe as Need for Speed Road Challenge. And the game was then released in June in Japan as Overdrive in 4 because whatever the fuck else is happening in Japan. So yeah, again, PlayStation was the only way to go in terms of gaming, but then June 18th, 1999. Windows release. Oh shit! Yeah, the PC release came out, so I'm again going to be talking about both games, PlayStation and PC, starting with PlayStation, and I'll be playing it off an emulator because it just looks nicer. It's going to come at the expense of worse gameplay though, because legit, there is a lot of differences. And playing the real deal is honestly so much better than playing it on emulation ever. But at the expense of gameplay, I can suffer with that. I think a lot of people can. So anyway, we're gonna get into it and let's take a look at the intro. Alright, so we have our main menu here with typically 4 options available. Those being 1 player, 2 player, game options and trophy room. And we'll be going into 1 player to then select which type of race mode we want to play. We have test drive, single race, hot pursuit, tournament and special events. Well, let's go to test drive because it's literally what you can expect. Pick any track or car as you please and get a free lap to practice each track. Now, usually I talk about the controls later, but I think it's befitting I talk about them here. Whilst I expected it to mimic more closely to Need for Speed 3's controls, yeah, no. These controls are completely different. What happened to this? I'd say the controls, the physics, etc. for Need for Speed 3 on PlayStation were difficult to understand at first, but still, you know, fun. Every car honestly feels more difficult to drive. Every car feels so heavy when decelerating and hard to steer. You really need to practice in order to get the hang of it. So, I don't know, maybe they were focusing on a more realistic approach, or maybe it's the physics model. Another thing I wanted to make note of is that you can turn off taking damage or not, meaning this game has a damage model. However, from what I can tell, it doesn't come into effect until we enter a tournament. Then we have single race. Here we choose how we'll face against the AI. Then we have our difficulty level, and here we get to choose our track. For now we only have Germany, France and Canada unlocked, and then we'll be at our garage. You must buy a car from a car dealership before you can enter this race. I mean, of course you do, duh, how could I forget? So then we select car dealer and we have 20k to spend on a vehicle. So for the first time in the franchise ever, there's a currency based career, sorta. It's either the Merc or the BMW, and then we'll be able to enter a race. This is your standard exhibition mode, but you can press square to choose which one of these settings you want to enable or not. The AI drive pretty decently, and collision with the AI seems to function fine. However, sometimes the physics kinda go shit. In Hot Pursuit, it's more or less the same options in terms of selecting which truck and car you want, but you get to choose the AI opponent car like you do in any duel in this game. Now we're racing in Germany, and what you're hearing is the regular police from the intercom. This is what happens when you turn the local police on. This is a pretty sick feature, to be fair, and, well, one that was previously only a cheat code, but now used to full effect. Anyway, Hot Pursuit is still exactly what you can expect. Here, I'm challenging the AI to a 1v1 in a duel, and it's a race to finish, but there's cops. Like in any 1v1 duel in this game, you can either enable or disable traffic cars. Driving too slowly near a cop car will result in receiving a fine or getting arrested, and sometimes the collision with the AI really sucks balls. I mean, you see me crashing and then limping away here. I guess I still got fined even though there weren't really any cops near me, so yeah. But if we then go back into setup for the hot pursuit option and select solo, we can actually play as cop cars. So like previously, there will be a crook you have to chase after and arrest, but you can also request backup, a roadblock, or a spike belt. You'll have to bust down a total of 10 criminals whilst the timer is counting down in order to succeed the offense. Then we got tournament, where we have several different tourneys to challenge, but we have to work our way up in order to enter them. This concept, going as far back as 1999, is also really cool, to be honest, and a great reason to really keep playing this game. Like, there's an actual incentive to keep playing. Anyway, we entered the tournament, and when finishing the race we earn prize money depending on our finishing position. We then have to pay for any repairables we may have possibly gotten accidentally. And with any money left over, we can upgrade our car out of a possible 3 levels. Even though adding each level upgrade makes a minor difference, this upgrade stays on the car forever. You'll never have to repurchase it. It's not as if the upgrade only applies for this specific tournament only. This time around you can also just finish in 5th place, get like 2 points, whatever it is, and then carry on with the tourney without the game forcing you to restart from the beginning again if you slip down lower than 3rd. Then lastly we have special events. There's only 2 available at the start of the game, but by beating the tourneys you'll unlock more of these special events. What makes them special? It's just that certain gimmicks come out to play. So you get it right, purchase cars you need in order to enter tourneys, and then you can earn more money by doing the special events. Okay, cool. Then the high stakes game mode. High stakes is a standalone split screen game mode requiring the insertion of a second player's memory card, and the winner gets the other player's staked car transferred to their saved game. In the PC release it's just an event throughout the career though, and yeah, I don't have a second person to play this with, but it's just, again, like a duel. So now onto the tracks themselves. You'll unlock them by beating each tournament they're featured in. We're gonna kinda breeze through these. We have Landstrasse Germany. Genuinely pleasant track. The only parts you kinda have to pay attention at is through this market area. I use this crack in the wall for reference on where to brake. The rest of the track is cool though. It just sucks that all these tracks are pretty long, but it's just what it was in the 1990s. Then we have Route Addon in France. The town section you have to be cautious of at high speeds, but then later in the course you're rewarded by some beautiful cherry blossom trees. In France, of course. There's Candiac Park in Canada. I actually really like this track. It's not ridiculously complicated and I can just switch my brain off while racing at this track. And it's got a train. I love how the wheels of a train are just a solid texture, but yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like trains. We got Durham Road in England. The entire course is just a motorway, and what you're seeing on the screen is basically the whole course. It's a nice and simplistic track though. Then we have Celtic Ruins in Scotland. You can obtain high speeds and yeah, anyway, yeah, the track is okay, I like it. Then we have Dolphin Cove in the USA. We start off at a pier and then we make our way up the coast into like a rocky waterfall section, and yeah, the track is a big, nice, good for me, yeah. And then we have Snowy Ridge in the USA. Yeah, I don't know what to even say about this track. It's your Nepal or Snow Summit from the previous 2 games. It's not quite 3 minutes long, but my god. Bro, playing on this course with the McLaren GTR is gonna make you hate life. It's too fast, so I just stick to the 911 instead. And then we have 3 different types of raceway stages. The first one being in Italy. I don't know how I really feel about this track. You'd think the cars would at least all line up together on the start-finish straight, like in an actual Grand Prix event, but no. The track is basically, again, most of what you're already looking at, and overtaking is tough. There's a banking section on the track at some point, which is awkward as hell, and that's about it. Alright, next up is the Raceway in the USA, and this track I think has much better track pacing. The overall flow is just so much better for the player to handle. And then the last raceway in Spain, and it's a raceway alright. Easily combines the worst elements from Italy, and then we have this underground tunnel we race through halfway through the course.
That's not very raceway-esque.
Yeah, it's okay I guess, could be worse.
Anyway, now the cars we can play as.
There's the Mercedes SLK 230 and the BMW Z3 Roadster. Your dad might have bought one of these in 1999. Then there's the 1999 Chevy Camaro and the Pontiac Firebird. Then we have a BMW M5, an Aston Martin DB7, a Corvette C5, a Jaguar XKR, a Ferrari 550 and F50, and then a Lamborghini Diablo, a McLaren F1 GTR, a CLK GTR, a 911 Turbo, and a what the fuck. So yeah, we have two fictional supercars, this Phantom thing, and a Hot Wheels car, cause that's what it is. Then there's the Australian release of the game, which includes these two again, because of course we need special releases inaccessible to the rest of the world. And then there's an R34 in the Japanese release. Lucky Japanese bastards, I swear to God. You unlock these endurance versions of these cars by beating the Pro Cup, and there is also the various cop cars you can play as. It's cool how each livery represents which police are from their native country. Also there's a Chevy Caprice, which is this thing, take a good long hard look at it, and of course the helicopter.
But of course I can't be oblivious to the cars that PC people got that we didn't get on console. So you know, it'd be stupid of me to completely ignore that. So we're talking about it.
Alright, time to boot up High Stakes on my computer. I already got everything set up earlier, and wait, what the fuck?
It's fucking horseshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Files are corrupted, please reinstall.
Do I have to play it on this ancient dog instead?
Luckily, there's a mod that runs the game on modern PCs called the Modern Patch, which you download off this website. Extract the files and just drag them into the game files. Easy peasy. There's also a couple of other mods I'm going to install first. There's a modern aspect ratio patch that makes the game look nice in its native resolution. You can also change it to widescreen if it tickles your fantasy, and now we're all ready to go. Where was I? Right, so, cars. The PC release got a La Nina, which I guess is this is the El Nino's little sister or something, and oh, you thought that wasn't enough? It got 6 DLC cars. Yes, now arguably 2 of them should already be in the damn game, but the others are a nice inclusion.
Oh no, where am I gonna get these?
Thanks for asking, me. So on the same website where we installed the widescreen mod, we can also download all the DLC as well as the regional released vehicles.
Suck on that, regions! And whilst we happen to be on this subject, of course I decided to include more car mods, so roll it.
Starting off with another McLaren F1 mod. I mean, this is the base game McLaren, and now this is the same McLaren modded into the game. Nah, it's a day and night difference. I also included a 1984 Porsche 911, which was posted as far back as in 2002, and it still works. And then I also downloaded this Vision SLR and some other mods. It even has a track editor, and people are starting to convert courses from other older games into this one.
Be sure to check all of this stuff out in the description below, and now we're gonna be back to just playing the PC version. With the mods, of course.
So we have our main menu here, of course. We have career, single, and multiplayer split screen. It has online, and people are still playing this against each other till this day. And then load is that you can just look at your replays here. Now, rather than a separate tournament and special event mode, both are combined, and here in Showcase is also where you can then buy your vehicles. And for the first time ever, we can actually fully look around into the interior of the car. Under single player arcade, there is a separate tournament mode available, which is just an alternative way to unlock bonus cars, awarded according to the set difficulty. Or you can either pick a single race, hot pursuit, or knockout race. And then finally high stakes races. They're pink slip races. You win, you take the other person's car, and vice versa. The knockout races are what you can expect again. The person in last gets eliminated every race. Hot Pursuit isn't really any different, and here I'll talk about the gameplay on PC. Again, like the Need for Speed 3, every car seems to have a lot of handling. I mean, just look, you seem to be able to do this. Then this game features a damage model, and you can see here the amount of damage taken during the race. Then repair it. You get it. And one more thing, all the tracks from the previous game returned, which gives us the most possible playable courses ever in a Need for Speed game. And it's great to see them back. That being said though, let's talk. I think objectively High Stakes on PC is a better game than the PlayStation version and both Need for Speed 3 games as a whole. It's just a better package, and like, people are still playing it online even when they have no reason to. However, again, I just like the overall feel on console much better, both on emulation and especially the real thing. This just doesn't do it for me, honestly. It's completely preference, but let me put it this way. I enjoy both games even though I'd rather pick the console version. And High Stakes, well, I don't know. I feel like it's just Need for Speed 3 but built upon further and then re-released under a different name. So, I don't know, that kind of feels like, you know, EA holding people at gunpoint again and making them go through brutal development, etc. But it's really just an opinion and nothing else.
Alright, so that was Need for Speed High Stakes. So, thoughts, feelings, verdict. Well, I do like the game. I did enjoy it. At first I was just kind of like, what is happening? Later I kind of grew more attached to it over time, but I still think it's kind of just, oh, we have Need for Speed 3, why don't we just use that again and then just build a bit on top of that, you know? Which, I mean, okay, it's the 90s, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's just kind of really obvious in this game. And yeah, that's gonna be it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, perhaps tell a friend if you thought I wasn't funny, but at least the video was informative, covering mostly the entire game. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Peace out!